It's the Full Force News Burst, proudly brought to you by Battle Action Force, the Treasury editions. I am your host, Christopher McLeod, aka Diagnostic 80. Now let's get into the news.
Full Force!
Happy Friday. Welcome to an early edition of the Full Force day recap. I know the day isn't really finished yet, I know, but I'm sort of just kind of assuming there's not going to be anything else. Yeah, I know what happens when we make assumptions. But yeah, we've had obviously loads to get stuck into today. And yeah, it's taken me a little while to update everything, like digital render images and name onlys and listings. Yes, we've unlocked listings for you guys thanks to some of those reveals today. And I will say right now, I know exactly what that teaser is, but I can't say anything, and it's driving me insane that I can't say anything about it. But I think you guys are going to be absolutely blown away by it, honestly. In any case, side note, we've got loads to get into, obviously, today. And like I said, I've gone a bit early today. Apologies for those of you at either still at work or won't see this until later. But I just want to get stuck in. Chris G says, what teaser? That little teaser they did in the renders, the little render reveal teaser that was kind of like hinting at something that no one, because I don't think anyone has managed to work out yet. In any case, should we get stuck in? Yeah, let's get stuck into it. Lots to discuss, and of course, we will start with that panel. Yep, so we've got an absolute crap ton of cool stuff to get into, haven't we? I know we can see it on the screen at the moment, but we're not covering it just yet. But that Royal Guard, whew, what a special thing that is. In any case, let's get straight into this. So earlier today at 11 a.m. Eastern, the Hasbro team of Transformers, Ghostbusters, and G.I. Joe combined to give us a rather chonkin panel. We actually got a really fun little video in there as well of Corey from the Hasbro photography team, dios and everything as well. We saw him kind of in at Walmart talking about the kind of Walmart setups and dioramas and what have you, which I thought was quite interesting. Obviously, it was funny at the time because, again, massive shout out as well to Adventures in Collecting, who posted the live streaming the panel at the time. Massive thank you to them; they did a great job. Shout out to Eric and Dave. But yeah, massive shout out to Eric, who did a great job on the filming for that. Really good quality stream, good audio and good visuals. So thank you very much for that. They were doing sort of like a split kind of situation. Transformers started the show, went on for a good chunk of time. Then we did Ghostbusters, which had another cute video in it, and then of course we got the G.I. Joe segment with mainly with Emily, Lenny, and Tony. But although they got to the point in the panel where they really kind of had to rush through it, so we didn't really hear much from Lenny and Tony, unfortunately. But in any case, we did get a load of really good, awesome reveals. Shout out to the team, and of course the Dreadnoks, who the Cold Slither were in attendance. That was quite funny as well. But yeah, they did a really interesting little video, a Walmart video, which had Corey sort of like talking about those stations that have been set up in the toy aisles, in some toy aisles at Walmart, and kind of talking through those kind of things, which I thought was quite a little fun little extra. Even though during the actual stream they couldn't get the audio to work, so they had to sort of like, we lost a few minutes, unfortunately. And then when it kind of overran, I didn't realize they were going straight into the fans. I thought the fan stream was sort of like a pre-recorded situation. I thought that was going to be live. It had been kind of talked up as being live, but obviously it couldn't have been because Lenny was still obviously in this particular panel when that one went up. But that summary was really good, and it got us some very nice clean images of what they'd revealed, starting with the mainline wave of 5 figures, which dropped just as I had suspected and expected. The group of 5 figures, all mainline: Big Lob, Hit and Run, Lifeline, Mole Rat, Night Viper, are going to be the sort of mainline 5-figure offering that we'll have in hand 2026. I think spring 26 is what they said. So we've got some nice promo images, and pre-order goes up on the 14th as well, which I believe I did say. I did hint at it. We didn't know there was pre-orders going up, but I had to. Unfortunately, it was like a read between the lines scenario on that one. But it thankfully is the case. So we get until Tuesday, the 14th, to get prepped for those particular figures going up for pre-order. 1 p.m. Eastern, and again it'll be Premium Pulse members. Premium Pulse on Pulse maybe, but at 1 p.m. I think it's pretty much weapons free everywhere because it's mainline. So I'm not sure if they'll do the whole premium thing to start with, but who knows? Either way, you'll be able to get them from BBTS, Entertainment Earth, wherever you get good figures, pretty much. So hit and run to start with, and straight away we got a great image on the left-hand side there showing that his knife does indeed, that ain't a knife, it is a knife, does indeed slot into a sheath on his backpack, which looks amazing, doesn't it? And again, they kind of went into a bit of detail with this. The flap opens up, Kitty said, and you can store stuff in there. And here he is rappelling. There will be rope, which is also great. Jim says spring 2026 means November 1st, 2025. At the moment, that's what it feels like, doesn't it? But yeah. Sorry, that I know there's a lot of comments going on at the moment. I appreciate it very much. I'm not going to be able to get to a lot of them at the moment. I'm very sorry. Yes, I will talk about everything in as much order as possible, though. In these cases, here he is rappelling anyway. Hit and run. Shout out to Justin Bell, who is very excited for Hit and Run. I'm sure you'd all, if you know Justin Bell, then you know that he's excited for Hit and Run. I'm personally excited at the prospect of this being turned into some sort of Tiger Force release further down the road. That's what I'm looking forward to. We better get it. I'm just saying. Hello, Robert Kalupitan. Not sure if I'm saying that correctly. But have happy full force to you as well. Just Under Anderson says, that's okay. I'm here for your take on all the G.I. Joe news today. Good. Well, this is what I'm doing. I'm getting into the takes. And as I had expected, every figure looks phenomenally better. No disrespect to the renders, but the renders do not do them justice in all aspects, do they? They obviously are there for a reason. They're there to kind of give you that sort of that hint of what the figure's going to look like, you know? But then when you actually finally get it in hand or see them like this, it's like, okay, yeah, they're amazing. And Hit and Run, no notes. None. Like, he is great. Like, the only thing you could have done to improve him, genuinely, is made him a deluxe figure and give him a parachute to hint at to homage that Target exclusive back in the day, or whatever exclusive it was. Was it Sears? I think it was Target, actually. In any case, love this figure, love what they've done with him, love his accessories. I think he's absolutely top notch. The helmet and goggles are removable. I don't think it was mentioned necessarily on the show, on the panel, but I love it, and I love the fact that they were hinting at the basketball court as well. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. Don't worry, guys. We've got lots to get through, and I'm going to go through them painfully slowly, but we will get to the Arctic Assault Hiss tank. Have no fear. Kiss. I was going to say kiss. I don't know why I said kiss. Cheers is what I wanted to say, but maybe let's just kiss. Should we just kiss? Okay, let's do that instead. Cheers. Anyway, Blitz says there was a notable absence for our icy friend Iceberg. Yeah, but I think an expected absence, though. You know what I mean? Airborne Customer says there's a photo of him with no helmet in the Lifeline photo. Oh, you're right, actually. Yeah, there are. There is. When he's carrying him, his injuredness. It is a bit Raccoon City, Leon, isn't it? Definitely. Hit and Run is perfect, says Medieval. Yep, awesome. But anyway, here we are. Hit and Run, absolutely phenomenal. I think he looks great. And then, of course, booth images. Shout out to Hiss Tank Toy Arc, TFW 2005, obviously. You know, basically everyone involved in getting these images. And Preternia, because I've got some Preternia images in here. Shout out to Preternia. And Toy Habits. Massive shout out to Toy Habits as well. So anyway, loads of people I'll shout out here. But obviously the images are courtesy of all of those particular people. and people on the floor. So massive shout out to all of those people. Thank you very much for giving us awesome images throughout the entire convention. Now, I love the fact that we've got here proof of the rope interaction with that little loop as well. Of course, the grappling hook and all. And yeah, I think this one's just going to be awesome. I think I'm just so excited for him. I will say though, he has more sort of like gear for climbing than Alpine does, and that absolutely blows my mind. It's just weird, isn't it? Anyway, kiss, kiss. I mean, cheers, but I'm saying kiss, kiss from now on because that was the accidental one that came out of my mouth before. Hit and Run looks awesome, says Josh F. Derek says, not familiar with him, but he looks really good. Again, like not everyone's going to know every single character, but Hit and Run is definitely one of those ones that I would say is kind of on the more popular end of the B list. I know, right? B list. Actually, you could say like C list in a sense. Not to give him any sort of like, not saying that's like his quality level. His quality level is tier 1. But his sort of like media presence is definitely a lot lower. So it kind of brings it down in terms of that aspect. But I think Hit and Run for me is like one of the most awesome figures, and a Tiger Force version as well. Yes, please. Hi, it's me says I only bought one shirt. No need for a kiss, Chris. Well, thank you very much. Hi, it's me. I appreciate that. Go check out our tees. I'll give that a shout out later as well. Here's another shot from above, just to kind of get you a little bit more sort of detail on that helmet and goggles scenario. This is a perfect figure, actually. I don't know what we're all talking about. I'm not why we're all getting into any deep elements here. This is a phenomenal figure. He looks great. Love it. And there's an eerily dark shot as well, just to kind of make him look a little bit kind of mysterious. Love it. Absolutely love Hit and Run. Of course, we've got the Mole Rat Stage 2 as well, including glow-in-the-dark crystal features, which is amazing. Tristan McDonald says, afternoon, folks. Haven't been on these in a while. Had a baby in March, so been busy. Lol. New reveals look great, though. Congratulations, Tristan, on your new baby. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Robert says, I saw some of the pics. The duffel bag splits open and kind of has a winch like the 80s version. Sweet. Anyway, there's the Mole Rat Stage 2, kind of giving it the big in the street. In fact, one of them looks like he isn't infected and he's getting attacked by the others, which is quite interesting. Yeah, the narrative on this one they were talking about in the live stream was that it's kind of gotten out of hand, and Cobra Commander has sent in some Night Vipers to clean up the mess that's going on, which is kind of cool as well. So there's going to obviously be more promo images, which we'll get on the 14th. Who knows, maybe the night before. That does sometimes happen, doesn't it, before pre-orders go up? And the fact that they are mainline means we'll probably see those promotional materials like that, like I said, that night before. That just seems to happen every single time, doesn't it? But yeah, the Dark Energon crystals, very, very cool. Excuse me. And here's another shot of them with that kind of like eerie, dark kind of like black light going on, just to kind of highlight those glow-in-the-dark crystals, which again, very cool. Yeah, there you go. Very, very scary. I love that they've made a basketball court as well. That's just great. I'm assuming they're using the starting lineup basketball net. I'm assuming that's what's happening here. I need to get one of them. I need to get one of them just for Big Lob now, really. Anyway, that is a bad rash, isn't it, Blitz? And here is the figure, of course, in reality. Again, shout out to His Tank Toy Arc for the images, and of course, Preternia and Toy Habits for some other images we'll be looking at as well. Lovely stuff. Again, looks really cool. I like that green on green, I like kind of neon green on regular green. Very cool. Any glow in the dark effects on the stage 2? Yes, Carlos just said that the crystal aspects are glow in the dark. It is the starting lineup basketball net. I assumed it was, and I definitely need to get one of those now. And here's another good shot of the actual like head sculpt too. It's kind of gnarly, and I'm digging it. The basketball goal was $4 at Ollie's. Oh, Paisano, damn, I missed that. I'm loving the dark energy on angle for Cobra. I'd better than the movie's explanation, says just under. Yes, agreed. I'm almost down to everything I want from the collection. So awesome looking sells me now, says Rancid. Yeah. So you're kind of like feel like you're kind of nearly complete with your what you want in your collection. I get it. Paisano, me and the kids made a whole basketball court. That's awesome. Skulls are cool, says Scott. It kind of does have that vibe with the skulls, doesn't it? These colors look so much better than the render, says Steve. Yes, definitely. It looks really good in human person, doesn't it? And here's another kind of more mysterious dark shot as well from this angle. I think we've got some head sculpts on. Maybe I didn't put them in. That's bad of me. I did have a shot of the head sculpts close up. I obviously didn't put them in, so my fault. Lifeline. So no rescue written on the briefcase, but he does have that medical logo, the three kind of block in the circular logo with the three sort of blocks of red inside. Luka Doncic down to $5, and there are tons of him. Great for customs. Interesting. But yeah, I think this lifeline looks even better as well in hand. We've got obviously the removable helmet. He's got his shades on at the moment on this shot on the left, kind of showing off his gear. There's a shot of him with the helmet on. Now, the pistol and the pistol holster can be removed from the figure. So if you are of the lifeline as a pacifist variety, the pistol and the holster can be left in the box. If you're of the no, I'm an OG lifeline action figure fan, then there you go. You got that as well. Cheers. Kiss, kiss. So great to know that. And then, of course, we have him running from the zombie Energon apocalypse over there. And you have Hit and Run without his helmet, as Darren mentioned earlier. There you go. Taking off the holster for sure, says Paisano. Robert Yanes says, believe Emily teased another OG13. She did, and we'll be talking about that in a little while as well. The helmet looks better here than it did in the render, but it's still a bit of a strange fit, says Charlock. I don't know. I mean, it's a lifeline helmet, isn't it? I mean, it's going to be interesting. Slave says holster off for mine. We've got a lot of pacifists in the chat. That's totally fine. Or sorry, a lot of lifeline as a pacifist. I'm pretty sure most of us are. I will say though, definitely, I'm OG lifeline figure wise because that was my first exposure to lifeline in GI Joe was the Action Force figure. So for me, it's that silver pistol he came with. I'm down like that's me for lifeline. Yeah, and then of course we have him in hand in the booth. This is a close up with Lenny's fingers in it, of course. Here's another shot kind of showing the backpack as well, a little bit of the backpack. There's a bit kind of material sort of like texture on there as well, which I didn't know looking from the other side on the render, didn't really see that clearly. So now you can kind of see that on the side of the backpack. There's a bit of sort of texture on there, which is kind of cool. And of course, kind of showing some of the accessories he comes with as well, including the drip, the kind of IV bag, which grips around the arm. And here's a close up. I think he looks great, honestly. I think Lifeline looks really good. Yeah. There you go. And then here's another shot of him from a different angle. There you go. And I think I did get a shot of, close up of the kind of IV bag as well. And those knees. That's Lifeline. And you can also see the little the little kind of like heart rate monitor thing on there as well. Best figure of the wave in my opinion, says just under. I wish the backpack was silver, says GL. I'll leave all the flash talk to Chris, says Robert Yanes. I'll get there and eventually. And then of course we have the Night Viper, which again looks phenomenal. And again, the shots they use to kind of show him off, brilliant. The backpack looks great. That rifle looks really cool with him. The pistol, when he's walking through the pistol, he's got the rifle over his shoulder. Very nice indeed. I can't wait for the rest of these I cannot wait for the rest of these promo images. Scott says colostomy bag, question mark? No, I think it's just an IV. That would be so mental if he came with the most, like, the weirdest, like, medical kind of gear and accessories for very specific ailments. That would be in the deluxe version though, wouldn't it, basically? Yeah, love that. Love it. I really am digging the Night Viper a lot. And there you go. There's another couple of shots of him. And this is the narrative they're going to go in with. They're saying that he is going to be kind of like the Night Viper's been sent in to clean up the mess that Cobra have made with this Dark Energon kind of situation. And also, a couple of things to mention. Obviously the articulated night vision kind of thing moves out the way, as you can see on the right there. And the lens comes off, which is great. So lots of cool things to enjoy about the Night Viper for sure. And here it is in the booth, looking very cool indeed. Again, lovely. I love the design on this. I love the Night Viper's amazing anyway. We all knew the Night Viper was awesome, but like as a classified up kind of update and kind of figure, I think he just fits really well. And it's one of those ones that everyone has been talking about as like a figure that needs to happen. Like this was high up there in the sort of like Cobra troop builder sort of conversation. I think Heat Viper's another one. I would say Toxo Viper's been one, even though we've kind of got these Dark Energon kind of mole rats. I still think they should definitely do Toxo Vipers. Can someone explain what this is to a new person flying through? Says Just Us. Iron Wolf alert. You mean for the Night Viper? Night Viper is a Cobra troop builder from like, was it 89, 90? I think it was 89 it came out. And effectively, yeah, just kind of like utilized, I think, in the Deep cartoon a little bit. Missed out on the Sunbow a touch, kind of like in that kind of period where a few figures missed out on the Sunbow cartoon. But it did kind of end up like finding them a little bit of kind of life in the Deep series. And yeah, just a really, really cool 89 release. Sort of like a night trooper, not necessarily a sniper. The platform you are doing, I mean, the platform. These are new figures, yeah. These are classified figures. 6-inch. You'll have to give me an idea as to what level you need a bit of explanation on there, Justice. But yeah, maybe the chat can help out as well. Building a diorama just for Snake Eyes versus Night Vipers in the Dark Corridor, says Medieval. That'd be really cool. We need the Rock Viper. Rock Viper's another big one, isn't it? Another big one. Heat, Toxo, Rock, Laser, Astro, Hydro, etc. I think Hydro Viper's a lock in it, Darren, especially after seeing the flippers on Wetsuit. In any case, low light counterparts is just under, yeah, sort of like I can definitely see that for sure with the Night Viper. A lot of people are kind of saying they're not really snipers, they're more kind of night troopers, which, again, I think you can have a kind of sniper in that sort of environment. But I like them more as that sort of like, kind of like just night operators, basically, which, most troops can still operate at night. They've just got the night vision, and it's really cool. So there you go. Annihilators, Targats, all good shouts, guys, for the troop builders for sure. Here's another good shot of it, and you can see a nice clean shot of one of the tampos on the side there as well on the shoulder. Very, very cool. Yeah, awesome. Checkpoint Alpha, thank you very much for the super chat. Very much appreciated. Thanks for everything you do. Anyway, full force. Thank you, Checkpoint Alpha. Very kind of you. Thank you. And thank you for all that you do for us with the support, and including that very, very generous super chat. Yeah, so there's the Night Viper, and there's the Night Viper again. I've obviously got more Night Viper images than I expected. Lovely stuff. And then we've got Big Lob, which I think actually now I'm how I was a little bit like, his head doesn't give the personality of Big. I was kind of being a little bit harsh the other day. Although I did feel like I felt like Big Lob's he could have had a little bit of a smirk or a smile on his face, just to give us that sort of like personality that we know from the kind of cartoon movie and everything. As it is, though, looking at this figure, I'm just like, damn, he looks good. And it's probably the basketball's probably winning me over. Being an ex semi-pro myself, like I'm, a lover of b-ball. I got to admit, I just love these shots, man, so much. And I think, I think I've just been. I don't really give a crap now about the fact he doesn't have a smile on his face, so I'm all good now. Totally all good. Rancid says Big Lob was a big no for me until I saw him. There you go. Big Lob looks even better, says Josh. Yep. Is Big Lob taller than Serpentor? Asked Carlos. I think so. I think he's the tallest figure in the line now. He was a full 7 inches. Yeah. Considering that I have no idea who Big Lob is, I haven't seen the movie since '87. I can't believe how much I like this figure, says Tim. Tim, go now. Stop watching this stream, and I'll be checking the numbers of people that are watching to see if you've dropped off. Go watch the movie and then come back later and tell me just how much you love Big Lob now. Justice says, so is this a revival of G.I. Joe figures being sold in stores? I mean, this is now the 5th year, Justice, of Classified. So it started in 2020. It was the first time we'd seen them in 6-inch form. And this is now, like I said, this is the 5th year, and we're just getting reveals of the new waves for 2025 for New York Comic Con 2025. So this is basically what we're doing at the moment. We're just seeing the new stuff that they're showing off. Some of them are going to be pre-orders, and it's not just in stores, but it's mainly online, isn't it, guys? Let's face it. Just to give any newbies, any people jumping on now at this point, that bit of that frame of reference. But yeah, this has been going since 2020, and we're at like wave 9,825 now. But yeah, lots to catch up on, I would say, Justice. Anyway, Big Lob, phenomenal, and these shots are great. This one's mental, where he's dunking the head, the decapitated head of one of the mole rats, which is hilarious. And then we've got that one where he's being kind of enveloped by a group of mole rats, and he's kind of got the grenade out ready to just kind of let it go and sacrifice himself, but also save more people by doing so. But the other thing is as well, yes, it's Arachnobat I was struggling with yesterday. Thank you, hi, it's me. Arachnobat being Nemesis Immortal's wings that I completely forgot like the other day. That was the name that was coined by the fandom. Well, I say by the fandom, it was by, who was it in the chat? I can't remember who it was. One of us, and I always forget who it was who gave the name Arachnobat to Thingy's wings. Anyway, we get probably confusing everybody at this point. These images look great, and Big Lob is a full-on Big Lob for me now. It was Stygian. Thank you. Hi, it's me. So massive shout out to Stygian, who came up with Arachnobat, and I think I ended up calling the other one Wibbler, the tentacle one. Anyway, that's that. Oh, it's really funny because in the booth, obviously we've got this shot as well of he's got a holster on his back. Let's talk about that. So he's got a holster on his back on the bandolier where the grenade launcher can slot into, and that loose grenade clips onto the back of the belt as well. Big knife in the old sheath on the thigh and pistol in the old holster. So everything kind of makes sense with regards to storage, which is great. And then, of course, the basketball is literally on his hand the whole time. It's kind of fixed on there, isn't it? But it's so good that we've got like those hands and that basketball. Oh, it's so good. Love it. And then, of course, yeah, here's another shot of the of him sort of like showing off some of those extra bits and bobs. I like the fact that it's the full G.I. Joe logo on the jersey, on that kind of over the left side, and then on the other side I think is a little basketball like logo, like it's just a basketball basically on the other side, and then the numbers 14 with that lovely yellow to blue phase at the bottom of the numbers, and then on the back it says Sanders, his surname. which is great. And there you go. Lovely stuff. And then, of course, the figure in reality in the booth. Here he is with the grenade launcher in one hand and the basketball in another. Looks so good. There was a great shot when they were showing, when I was looking through these images, of him next to Mainframe. And it was like, you've really made the worst decision by standing him right next to Mainframe. There it is. Look at the difference there. Is that hilarious? Love it. Love it. Do I think it's a Bulls jersey? Asked Checkpoint. I think because like they kind of retconned him being from Chicago in the Club O-ring figure, and then that carried on into the Club 4-inch modern figure. But I don't know if that was because they sort of felt like it was a call out to the Bulls with the jersey, even though the Bulls jersey is, that actually looks more like a blooming Washington Bullets jersey because of the other colors in there. But one of the retro ones. But I think that I would imagine that when they were doing the character model for the movie, they probably just thought, yeah, make it like red, make it a red jersey, so it's like, the Bulls. So there's like that kind of ever so slight kind of connection to it, maybe. Because they were the big team at this, they were an important team around that time. They weren't winning championships until 92, was it? Yeah, I think it was like 92. But they were prominent still, and Jordan was like a rookie or young, but they were kind of, he was making a lot of moves, Jordan, still at that point. 91, wasn't it, Steps Toys? Thank you. So it was close, but it was still, you could like 3 or 4 years off. So yeah. Anyway, it's hard to say on that one. Someone said Atlanta Hawks. It's not far off an Atlanta Hawks jersey, to be honest. You're right, 100%. Anyway, and then we've got the sneaker, close up on the sneakers, a little bit of green in there as well on the sort of detailing. So they're brown, they've got tan soles, and then they've got that kind of green detailing on the kind of where the Nike ticks would be. I like that. Very, very cool. And then obviously shout out to BMAC and Lenny, who did the kind of fan stream after the fact, after the actual panel. And BMAC was saying, we have to get these as a collab sneaker for G.I. Joe done like out there, because like they are so good. And I agree with him. I would buy a pair of these bad boys right now. This needs to happen. But yeah. Yeah, there you go. So, and then the extra hands and of course the rifle as well, which is pretty dope. And here's a nice shot of him close up. You can see the G.I. Joe logo. You can see the basketball logo there, nice and clear. And yeah, and the head sculpt again, I've kind of been won over by the images and the figure in hand, honestly. Like I said, this happens every single time. We see the renders, there's an excitement there, but it isn't full because it's not full force, it's only medium force at that point, because there's going to be more. It's going to be more when you see it. It's going to be different when you see it. There's something about the renders that are really cool, but they do not give you everything. They don't give you what that figure is going to look like in a sort of. They're trying to give you a 3D look, but it's not the same. Love it. Anyway, I want a pair of big lob joggers too. I'd love to cosplay this. Obviously, I'm not full cosplay, if you know what I mean. But I'd love to get that jersey, and I'd love to find those sneakers, and and I've got a pair of pants like that. So yeah, the only problem is I'm not gonna, for obvious reasons, I'm not gonna go any further. But you know what I mean. It would be a really cool cosplay for many people to do. So yeah, just don't, if you know what I'm saying. I'm just not going to say it. And then, of course, just to kind of like highlight this, 5 figures wave mainline up for pre-order October 14th, 1 p.m. EST at Pulse and other mainline retailers. There you go. And that obviously is Hit and Run, Lifeline, Big Lob, Night Viper, and the Stage 2 Mole Rat. Okay. Right. Next up, then, let's talk render reveals. This was phenomenal. Yeah, just expect everything to be more expensive now, by the way, guys. I mean, like, it's happened recently. It continues to happen. The prices aren't going down, are they? It's going to be going up, which sucks, and is just unfortunately the way of the world right now. So there you go. I love the 5-figure change. Yeah, me too. Actually, it's kind of like it's cool. We get a lot more kind of in, a lot more in a reveal sort of situation. The thing is, though, I'm not sure if this is going to ramp up figures per year, though, which again a lot of people are excited for. But we have just gone through an absolutely crazy couple of weeks with stuff coming in. But yeah, render reveals. Here we go. Now this absolutely blew my socks off. It's the Cobra La Royal Guard. And goodness gracious me, what a loadout this is coming with. So we've not only have we got the massive sword, and they've done really good job of making that a nice thick chunky weapon. Love that, Kitty said. And then we've got this like other element. So the figure itself, bloody gorgeous. This is deluxe, by the way. This is a deluxe figure, obviously. And then of course you've got this sort of like the armor, the standard armor that's on him, the standard shoulder pieces and everything, and that gorgeous sort of like soft goods cape, which if it's anything like Pythona's, it's going to be phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And then of course the beautiful, like the detail on this is next level. This is how you do a royal guard, in my opinion. Like, it's absolutely stunning. The head sculpt, amazing, with the little antenna, the little kind of almost like respirator mask as well, bug eyes. It's so good. And then on top of that, regular figure, you've got the accessories, you've got the big sword, you've got that kind of like pole with the kind of pincer on it, which is what they use in the movie to transport the prisoners by the necks, pushing them into like into the prisons and everything. So that's rad as well. Like, I'm really glad they included that weapon, because you can kind of use it as a weapon as well as like a herding stick. But then to then like next level everything and include wings is just like such a Lenny classified thing to do, and I am here all frickin' day for it. Because how good is it going to look with Nemesis Immortal and a couple of these like flying either side of him? Like, it just phenomenal, next level. You got the extra shoulder armor, which kind of goes over the shoulder. Like, you take the secondary off the cape and you put those shoulder pieces on. You put the wrist gauntlets on, the thick, chunky wrist gauntlets with those big, spiky weapons as well. And then you switch to the alt head with the kind of the bone kind of bits sticking out, the kind of super shredder, as Pat described this in a message group earlier. And you create this absolute beast. Unreal. Love it. Even the Air Force is ugly. Yes, Robert. Brilliant line from the movie. Definitely getting 2 of these, says BQ King. Probably not the only one. Robert says, I've been noticing the pattern that it's only the deluxe figures often gets the cloth capes. Never seem to see not one figure that has the cape on a regular figure. Yeah. Then that's because it's the extra kind of deluxe cost, isn't it, basically? Plus, I'm not sure if there are that many. They don't really do that sort of secondary sort of situation on the lot. I mean, there aren't that many figures that have it anyway. But yeah. Anyway, love that. And then as well as all that, they've got a little kind of Cobra La pistol, which is interesting, and 2 alternate extra denizen heads, which is just freaking amazing. Like, those heads are brilliant, and I think that's like the real exciting thing for me in this set. Just again, like they've gone to town for a deluxe again, haven't they? Let's face it. So is the Royal Guard chairface? No, Josh B, it is not. I'll show you what the Royal Guard is, like towards the end of the episode when we get to the listings. But no, it's a 2026 situation, not a 2025 one. Chairface is still completely unknown, by the way. Still didn't get any sort of like, closure on that one. Who's Dennis Zen? Brilliant, Blitz. Absolutely brilliant. Are we even getting Chairface? Asks Robert Yanes. Who knows? Who ruddy knows? Do you think they learned from Nemesis Enforcer's wing issues? Well, there's not going to be the same issues, is it? They're nowhere near the same level of problematic as something that you'd have with like a Nemesis Immortal situation. Although I don't really have problem with his wings. What problems are you facing just like? Because I haven't had an issue with his wings. What issue are you referring to? The OG came with a pistol. Yes, it did. It was a weird looking thing, wasn't it, Mark? It would look nothing like that. I'll tell you that much. Can we use those wings on Nemesis? I don't know. It would look quite cute, wouldn't he, wearing those? But anyway, phenomenal. Making them these like really weird bug flying creatures as well. Just absolute next level. They have definitely created the need to army build the crap out of this guy, haven't they? I mean, look at that. Because you can't just have one. Like, you can't just have that one. You got to have it in bird mode, bug mode, denizen 1 mode, denizen 2 mode, and then have them all next to each other, just like hanging out. Unbelievable. They should have been attached like angels in Marvel Legends, not just a single peg. I see what you mean. Yeah. So the Nemesis Immortal issue, having that tiny backpack peg, I agree. But I don't think this is the same thing. This is going to be probably ports in two separate ports in the back of the armor, is what I'm expecting. It's not going to be like a backpack scenario, is it? But there you go. Yeah, brilliant stuff. And then of course this. Now I did try to hint at you guys a lot, and people were just like, yeah, but it's not covert and it's not new. Well, it is new technically. Covert, fair enough, but I tried to hint that the Arctic Hiss was being shown off this weekend, and no one quite grasped it. So I'm not gonna. I'll say what I think is going to happen, and usually you can read between the lines. Like, for example, when I said yesterday, I expect pre-orders to be on the 14th, and for them to be these 5 figures, and it's like, sometimes I don't think people necessarily pick up on when I'm trying to nod, wink, wink, when I'm not doing it 100%. And we get a shot of the driver as well, don't we, to have a look at? Anyway, Arctic Hiss or Arctic Assault Hiss. Now, this is an interesting one, isn't it? Because it's going to be a made-to-order scenario. Now, people have been talking about this constantly. They've been hinting that this is going to be a thing with sort of like HasLab-related kind of tooling. And lo and behold, that's exactly what we have here. We can obviously, we can confirm a few things with this, can't we? So obviously we've got, as you see it here, is what I believe it comes with, and the vehicle driver. I don't think we're getting like all the other accoutrements that came with the first Hiss, but we are getting a new weapons system, like the Stinger missile rack kind of style, with those kind of like saddlebag scenarios going on. Saddlebags, with that sort of like the tan tarp situation on one side, and then the little rack on the other that you can put stuff in, including little weapons that clip in. There's like little C clips in there that you can clip rifles and stuff to as well. Does the back open? It certainly does, and we have images of that too. And here it is. This was revealed on the floor earlier today as well. Here's Lenny holding it. Kitty said 724, like that. You can got like these kind of big machine gun posts on the on either side as well, and the guns are really cool on that too. Yeah, no lights, I believe. So the lighting system is out. But as we skim through these beautiful images, courtesy of Preternia, these first ones. So thank you, Preternia, for these images. Look at that, lovely stuff. With that new Arctic Assault sort of like kind of snake head scenario as well, and they've gone with the kind of not the retro canopy, but the standard classified canopy, which is kind of cool. I'm kind of glad that is the case. I was under the impression it was going to be a retro one when we found out about this, so I'm actually kind of pleased they've gone with the classified version, because that's kind of more fun, more interesting, isn't it, than just a straight canopy. Then, of course, you can just about see the driver there, which is a snow serpent body and a his driver head, of course, repainted a little bit. The other thing I'll say I mention I really like, which you can see it here, but it's not really super clear. But there's a very subtle digital camo running along the main kind of body of the here. So it's just not just a white deco. It's this kind of like very intricate kind of grey and white sort of like digital camo, which is really nice. And then let's get to these shots as well. So again, another great shot here. This I think was Toy Habits, so thank you Toy Habits for these shots as well. And then we get a close up of the back here being opened up on his tank. So as you can see, it does open up at the back, and it does have the troop kind of situation, and it has a tan Cobra seat in the back, and the weapons rack is still in there as well. So the only thing you're not really getting with this that the other one did is the lighting system, I believe. Yeah. Arctic Hiss Driver doesn't have the removable parachute bag in the front. Kind of funny. Not sure it will be fitting the driver's seat. It was a tight fit for the regular Hiss Driver. I'm sure they've had to figure that out, but yeah, you'll squeeze it in there. And then of course, here's the another kind of side profile, just to kind of get a little kind of close up of the rack in use. But you can see like little gas tanks in there. You can see those little C grips as well next to the gas canisters. So you can kind of clip weapons and stuff in there too, which is kind of awesome. Here is the driver, all kind of as is, with the snow serpent body and that sort of his driver helmet head sculpt with the blue face mask and the gold visor, which is cool. No side rockets, Scott. No side rockets. You don't get all of the accoutrement that came with you don't get all of the different panels and all of that kind of stuff. You just get like what is on show effectively. So this is so this is a made to order scenario. Here's a close-up as well of said driver, which again I think is a no-brainer. It makes sense to be the snow serpent with the his driver head. That's what it has been in the past. It's what we kind of speculated on when the hint was made in that snowcat video. Lenny said he wanted the canopy to look polarized, which would be wicked. I'm sure it will be eventually. Yes, that's the thing. If you have a his tank, another his tank, you can utilize the parts on this as well, can't you? You can plug the missiles in if you want to. But yeah. Got a commercial that cut me off. Sorry, Couchboy. Is that the driver? It is. Snow Serpent body, Hiss driver head. This is the Arctic Assault Hiss driver. Yeah, love it. And then in the because we're in the renders, I'm kind of zipping between the renders and then also like showing the actual figures in the booth and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm mixing it up a little bit. And then we got this. Now we know what this is. I don't think anyone's going to get it, but it's rad. It's absolutely freaking rad. I don't think I've seen anyone in any comments say what this is yet, and I'm really excited, but also annoyed that I can't say what it is. I think this is gonna blow some socks off. Okay, it's not something. It's not. It is and isn't something we've had before. What a horrible hint that is. Anyway, it's wild. Absolutely friggin' wild. And I think you guys are going to really dig it. Now, that's all I'll say on that. And then we'll move on. Name only reveals next. one of the reasons I'm not staying on that and kind of doing speculative talk about it is because, like I just said, I've just told you I know what it is, so I can't really speculate on it because it, it'd be like triple lying. So yeah, we'll just move on from that. Name only reveals, and this is good because we get to unlock all of these on the listings as well, and there's a reason for that, and you may already have guessed it. So Crimson Guard female, interesting image to use, by the way, Hasbro. You literally have Laura 343 in your comics that you own in terms of IP, and you decide to use a sort of like image from like someone's up, like, is it Art Station sort of vibe? Interesting choice there. But in any case, it does show a female Crimson Guard, so there is that. It's kind of got a vibe of like, is it Jendi Tartakovsky who did the first kind of series of Clone Wars, which I absolutely loved. The first sort of like mini, and then he did that really awesome cartoon about like not primeval. What was it called? The one where it was like that kind of like, it was like dinosaur kind of vibes. What was it? It's like kind of like, what was that Jendi Tartakovsky animation? Anyway, it reminds me of that. Yeah, he did Samurai Jack, but I'm talking about the sort of like he did another one more recent than Samurai Primal. Thank you, Stygian. Yeah, so good. Anyway, Crimson Guard female, awesome. I'm hoping that they'll go the same sort of route that they go with the Valkyries and with Troopers, not with the Crimson Guard, oddly enough, and that is multiple heads. So I'm hoping we get like multiple different sort of like heads for this one, and it wouldn't go amiss to get a Laura 343 head sculpt, would it? I mean, what an opportunity to squeeze one of them in as well, because she's kind of cool as well. I'm pretty sure she's got an eye patch as well. In any case, that is Crimson Guard female. We also have Crazy Legs, obviously in his standard uniform. We have him in Night Force already, but at least now we know that Crazy Legs standard is coming, which is awesome. And of course, Zap, which is getting us ever so slightly closer to completing that OG lineup, which is pretty awesome. What does that leave now? Flash, Grand Slam. Anyone else? I think that's it, isn't it? Just Flash and Grand Slam now, thanks to the Short Fuse Steeler 2-pack. This Zap. Yeah, I think it is literally just a Flash and Grand Slam left. Like I said, I did say to you guys, if you go back a few episodes, I said a few times actually this, I would be surprised if we don't complete the OG 13 before the end of 2026. It looks like we might be doing so. Just saying. Although that was a guess at the time. Some of it was known, but yeah. Now at this point, I kind of feel like, yeah, it looks like we're getting there pretty quick. I totally want a modern weapon Zap, even though I assume he'll have retro gear, says Steps Toys. Well, we'll explain that in a second, but that was the name only reveals. We then were also given a Hall of Fame results, which was interesting. Flash has not been announced yet, Jason, no. So the Hall of Fame for 2025 consisted of Best Figure for 1983, which I think everyone expected this because I voted for this. Destro, absolutely. Yay, that makes sense. Destro being in that figure in 83, I mean, it's a pretty, I don't think it was even close, to be fair, according to BMAC in terms of the numbers. So 1983 favorite figure for the Hall of Fame is Destro, and that makes a lot of sense. Now, as well as that, we also got to vote on 2025 classified figure of the year, which again went to Crystal Ball, which I'm sort of not surprised at all. Not surprised at all at Crystal Ball getting the nod here, because it's a fantastic figure, and they've made Crystal Ball cool, which is one of the things that we see with a lot of these kind of weird, interesting kind of characters that maybe aren't very cool or aren't really deemed as being very cool. They get their hands on them, and like Raptor, for example, absolutely awesome. So yeah, I think I think Crystal Ball is absolutely up there this year as one of the best figures. I personally went with Pythona, and I stand by that choice. I think Pythona for me is even better than Crystal Ball, but I have no qualms or problems with Crystal Ball getting the nod because he is absolutely brilliant. Budo is another one as well. I think my top three are going to be Pythona, Budo, and at the moment anyway, it might change. And then Wetsuit. If we probably won't get him in time, but if we do, then he might be up there for me. But the thing is, I'm kind of having to do this a bit strict. Like, I don't want to. I'm actually feeling like pushing that wave to 2026 because it technically is supposed to be, isn't it? Or is it? Is it supposed to be? No, it's not. I don't think it is supposed to be technically. I think it is 2025 sci-fi Wetsuit. They should be at the end of the year, shouldn't they? So yeah, I think Wetsuit is definitely one that I think is going to be up there because I've seen it in person and he's absolutely freaking amazing. Yeah, it's the final wave of 25. Thank you, Airborne's Customs. Yeah, I kind of went a bit mental then because I forgot the fact that Lifeline and Hit and Run, that's the first in hand of 26, isn't it? SVF&G says what they did with Crystal Ball and Raptor makes me look forward to Zanzibar. Oh, do you know what? Zanzibar would be an absolute baller of a figure, a crystal baller. It would be so good. Like, he'd be right up there with, he'd be kind of in that vibe with Crystal Ball, obviously the Dreadnoks vibe, of course. But he would be in that kind of Crystal Ball sort of look and territory, I think, as well. Definitely with like the friggin' hair as well. Oh, it would be so good. They're not doing like rooted hair by the looks of things forever, like for any of the figures. But, I could see them doing, his kind of like ponytail in the same way they did with Pythona. I don't know if they'd do his air skiff. That might be a little bit of a stretch. In the same way that we haven't gotten like, certain vehicles, like the Dark Ones of Ada, for example. I could see them doing Zanzibar just on his own sort of thing with no vehicle. I'd be a bit upset, but also it's a bit crazy, that thing, isn't it? But yeah, Wetsuit is absolutely perfect, Robert. I've got no notes with Wetsuit at all. None. A perfect figure. Perfect. Cesspool could be a crowning achievement, Viper Scout. Cesspool's also going to be one that I think people are going to be absolutely wet your pants happy with. Also, shout out as well to Larry Harmer, who was inducted into the G.I. Joe Hall of Fame. Was it Ron last year? I think it was Ron last year, right? Was it Ron Rudak got inducted last year? I can't remember. But I think, Larry, there's a couple of people that should have just been inducted but automatically before the Hall of Fame started. Larry's one. Ron obviously is another. And then there's a plethora of people, in relation to the G.I. Joe brand over the years and all the different facets that definitely need to have that sort of automatic placement in the Hall of Fame. And obviously, Larry, massive name for G.I. Joe and just in general, just the greatest, the GOAT, shall we say? Yeah. But anyway, there you go. So that was the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Larry. Didn't need it really, mate D. I mean, you are G.I. Joe, so there wouldn't be a Hall of Fame if it wasn't for Larry, Ron, and multiple people in that sort of kind of, across again like the whole brand, not just the 3 3/4 kind of revival, but obviously going back into the 60s and G.I. Joe's 12-inch and all that kind of stuff. So the absolute. And then you've got legends all over the globe as well when you talk about Palatoy and that whole situation. So yeah, I definitely want to see in the future. I want to see Bob Breakin in the G.I. Joe Hall of Fame because again, Bob's got a lot of claims to fame when it comes to G.I. Joe, not just Action Man and Action Force, but G.I. Joe as well, because obviously the 12-inch took a lot of the ideas that were kind of like done at Palatoy for the 12-inch figures, not to, shared. I mean, they didn't take it; they friggin' owned it. So, but yeah, there you go. So, massive shout out to Larry as well for the Hall of Fame. Now, that is sort of the end of all the panel information and what have you. and all of the stuff on the booth and on the floor and all that jazz. I haven't really talked about this yet, but I'll probably save it for tomorrow. But the whole Tron HasLab 375 scenario is quite interesting. So it's going to be a new sort of like modern action figure, but at 375. So it's not O-ring. It's sort of modern articulation and figure design, but on a 375 sort of height, which is really weird and interesting, isn't it? Does that relate to Joe at any point at some stage? I don't know. I actually don't know. Before I do the whole ooh nod nod wink wink, I absolutely have no idea if GI Joe is going to get anything in that 375 sort of format. But it's an interesting conversation, I think, to have. Yeah, and also a really weird HasLab, I've got to say, really weird. Will I be doing a Patreon after this, Chris? On Sunday. I'll be doing a Patreon episode, Robert. So yeah, I'll see you on Sunday for the Patreon episode. Anyway, coming back to NYCC just quickly, Cold Slither, of course, were in attendance at the panel and it was rather hilarious. They will be performing at the Gramercy on the 11th. That is tomorrow at, I think, doors open at 8, I want to say. And the first 100 people through the door get a free exclusive I Cobra New York shirt, which is amazing. So massive shout out to them. They have really like I kind of feel like this year has been really fun when it comes to that sort of like the marketing angle of it. And like the whole Cold Slither thing has just been a really solid win, I think. Like the live shows have been extremely well taken, you know, like kind of like accept, you know, like just enjoyed, I'll say. Like the SDCC situation, they had an absolute blast. Loads of people had a blast at that show. And then the New York one hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure that's going to be an absolute, you know, banger. The album's really good. The vinyl releases, the figure releases that came along with it, the classified box set. I mean, the comic, which I'll be talking about tomorrow on the recap day 3 and comics news aspect of NYCC. Just absolutely phenomenal sort of rollout when it comes to with the Cold Slither thing. So they've got to really kind of give them their props on that one. Not just the band for being absolutely amazing sports with this and embodying the characters as well, like to a T. But just like I don't know, just it's being an absolute load of fun, really, and it's just been something that I just think has been done really well. It's been done really well this year. So massive shout out to everyone involved in the whole Cold Slither rollout. It's been brilliant. And then, of course, it doesn't end there. No, we have 2 more conventions that it sounds like more reveals will be shown at. MCM London on the 25th of October, LucaCon as well in Italy. So I don't know who's in attendance at LucaCon. I imagine Emily will be there, probably Lenny. We'll have to see, won't we? But I also don't think I have the. Let me get the dates on that just to sort of get my bearings. And that is 29th of October to the 2nd of November. So that means that there will be a presence in Italy by Hasbro following MCM, which is it's only a few days later, isn't it? It's like I mean, it's not far, and not too far away from, you know, like it's only a flight away, but still, that's a lot to do in a short period of time. And then, of course, the 3rd of November is when Pythona goes up for non-premium members as well. Just a heads up on that one. So LucaCon will follow MCM, but we don't have the official sort of like blurb for that yet. But obviously, I will start kind of mentioning the dates on that one, which, like I said, for LucaCon is October 29th to November 2nd, and more reveals and what have you are being saved up for both MCM London and LucaCon in Italy. Now, leak listings, and look, guys, the unknown vehicle, lo and behold, was the Arctic Assault Hiss with driver. Yes, it was. Sorry I had to keep stum about that one, but that is the situation. Robert Yane says, wait, no HasLab this year. Excuse me. What was that said? I don't think that was said, was it? Have they said something about no HasLab? I didn't catch that. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no one said there'll be a HasLab, I think, next year, guys. I don't think anyone has mentioned that yet in any capacity. In any case, coming back to this, Arctic Assault Hiss is the unknown vehicle. I'll say unknown. We don't know the internal code word yet. But we do know the number and the fact that it's a made to order scenario, and that will be through Pulse, I believe. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think. Yeah, let's not kind of get into some like kind of accidental misunderstanding in the comments that then turns into fact, which seems to happen a lot. Online, there has been nothing stated about not being a HasLab. I don't think that is the case. They, like I said, they are. This is going to be happening this year. The Arctic Assault Hiss, like that's going to be happening this year. That doesn't mean there won't be a HasLab next year, guys. Okay, just want to make that kind of quite clear at this moment. They're talking about reutilizing the Arctic Assault Hiss. It's not going to affect the HasLab, as far as I know. Okay, until something is confirmed and said, let's not even speculate, because at this point, it's just going to get out as that'll be what it is. And I don't. That's not. It's going to be like miscommunication. It's going to be misinformation going around. So I just want to kind of put a lid on it right this second. No, there's nothing at the moment saying there's not a HasLab next year. Okay, it's almost very certain and likely to happen. Yeah, so that is it for 2025. We don't know chair faces yet, and Ralph T is inactive, but everything else is set and sorted. It'll be. I'm sure Chairface has just been another inactive one, unless something pops up at the end of the year. I don't know yet. We'll have to see, won't we? In any case, 2026 looks even cooler. So it's opening up a little bit. Snowcat is green finally. The Cobra La Royal Guard is Rudy Deluxe, by the way, down there in the Mainline Deluxe section. So that's the Cobra La Royal Guard. For anyone that's updating their spreadsheets. And then on the other side, you'll notice a few more listings. The retro listings have been unlocked. Yes, the female Crimson Guard, Crazy Legs, and Zap are retro carded figures. All right. So those are the listings. We've unlocked them now, and we can tell you that the female Crimson Guard, Crazy Legs, and Zap will be retro carded. All right. If that hasn't already been stated, I'm not sure if it was. I didn't catch it in any of the panels. Snake Eyes says, I think we need to let Chairface go, unfortunately. You say that, Snake Eyes, but we've still got a good chunk of the year left and a couple of cons to go. And we're all out of other things. So I don't know. Just saying. Bad Wolf Media says, so Chris is breaking the news that those are retro because it was not said anywhere. Okay, cool. Then yes, I am. The female Crimson Guard, Crazy Legs, and Zap, those are the listings there, and they are retro listings. So that should hopefully explain it for everybody. There you go. That's pretty much everything, I think. We're getting a little bit more unlocked on the 2026 vibe, which is nice. So the guy who said Flash was guaranteed this year was wrong. I need to find that post, says 44D2. Well, he was actually, I wouldn't say guaranteed, but he was, I think, originally in the line plan for 2025. So it's quite possible we see him in 2026. But yeah, he was, I think back in 2025, it was when we had that kind of mess with Snake Eyes, Monkey Wrench, Cobra Commander, and Major Blood, when that sort of like got all mixed up, and then Sci-Fi, Grim Viper, Mainframe, and Wetsuit happened. I believe Flash was supposed to be Mainframe, if I remember rightly. I think Flash was going to be Mo. That's the information that we had. And then, that was changed to Mainframe, and then we haven't heard from Flash since. So I'm sort of expecting him to show up maybe in 2026. Hope we see Taurus and Red Dog soon. Yeah, me too. And we probably will do as well, because they're pretty high up on that list, aren't they? Especially considering they were name only revealed as well. Why is it a disappointment, Stephen, that they're retro figures by chance? What difference does that make to you? Just out of interest. Was Flash supposed to be Ralph T? No. Like I said, Flash was, I just mentioned it, I think. Flash was supposed to be Mo, and that turned into Mainframe. The Ralph T listing was just inactive early on, and then we didn't find out who was pushed. I don't think it'll be the regular crimson color is what I'd expect HoloNet. I don't think it's going to be the one that matches the one that was a retro Crimson Guard. Crazy Legs should be numbered. Okay. Should Recondo be numbered? Just out of interest. I mean, he was numbered in the HasLab for Night Force, but did you have a similar issue with Recondo being in the retro as well? Because that's the same. That's the exact same scenario, isn't it? Basically. I think Night Viper was Sideshow Bob, and that got pushed back to 2026 also. Yes, correct, Ryan. Night Viper was also in that group that ended up being Mainframe and Grim Viper. Yes. Anyway, that's everything. That's the listings, I believe. Let's have a quick message from our sponsor, and I'll be right back. I'm not going anywhere. Yes, the deluxe Treasury Edition Battle Action Force books are amazing. Go get them. They're awesome. Skeletron.com if you're in the US, and of course, TotalToyBooks.com if you're in the UK and Europe. Now, yeah, Ionic says Night Viper's entire helmet comes off. New inbox promo shot shown. Yes, we did actually talk about that as well. The helmet comes off, and the comes off as well. The lens. Now. Name only reveals. This is where we are now. I've updated this. So we've got Iceberg, Crazy Leg, Zap, Taurus, and Red Dog on the Joe side. And we've got female Crimson Guard over there. Now, I used Laura 343 as an image on this one, but it's probably not going to be that. It's just going to be a Crimson Guard general, but in general. So that's what I'm expecting on that one. And then for the digital renders, I've updated that as well. So we've got Hit and Run, Lifeline, and Big Lob on the left. Night Viper, Mole Rat Stage 2, Cobra Royal Guard, and the Arctic Assault Hiss for Cobra. Now, of course, 5 of those are going missing on Tuesday. So we're going to be back to just the 2 digital renders, aren't we? Very soon, which is crazy. But then hopefully we'll get a few more on the 25th. That's the hope, isn't it? And almost certainly what's actually going to happen. So that is everything covered. Also, one last thing, we have got t-shirts if you're interested. We've got a little pre-order phase going on at the moment. So if you do want to show off your support for the channel and you want Full Force logos t-shirts, we have 3 options with the full color logo in grey, black, and white on the left there. And we have 3 color options with the same kind of one color logo on green, blue, and red. Now, these are available on codenameiowa.com, link in the description, and codenameiowa.com. If you just want to type it in and go to the store, you can find it there and the little Full Force tab. And yeah, these are going to be available to pre-order up until the 31st of October. So yeah, get involved if you want to support the show. We really appreciate it. I can't wait to get t-shirts for this blooming thing. And then hopefully if these do well, we'll get more designs going on. We'll hopefully get some like hats and sweaters and hoodies, that kind of stuff. We'll just have to kind of see how it goes. But I definitely want some Full Force merch, yo. So get involved if you're interested. Like I said, pre-order phase at the moment. So get your orders in. Order October 31st. You've still got a decent amount of time to go. But there you go. Cool. Right then. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me to talk NYCC Day 2 recap. It's been a blast. I will be back tomorrow, not with a weekly, but with NYCC Day 3 recap. And of course, probably a lot of comic related stuff on that one. I believe, obviously, there's the Skybound panel, which we'll kind of report on. And of course, all of the comics news from this week has been kind of crazy, actually. So lots to talk about. Cold Slither comic, Dreadnought War is coming, previews of that as well. So hopefully we'll have even more to get into with the panel as well. Not a weekly, a threekly, says Scott. Yeah, it feels like it, doesn't it? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Lots of kind of new info as well, kind of coming at us, which is great. If you're at NYCC, have a absolute blast of a time. I hope you're really enjoying it now, and I hope you continue to enjoy it. Wish I was there. Really sad that I can't be there. And if you're at the show tomorrow as well, the Cold Slither show, have a great time. Shout out to the following people: Adventures in Collecting, thank you very much for being awesome. Also to Praeternia, to His Tank, Toy Arc, to Toy Habits. Very much appreciate all you guys and all the images and everything. I've been stealing them and reposting them. Apologies. Or resharing them where I can. Obviously, it's a bit, some places it's easy to just reshare it, and I will. In other places, I have to kind of like get the pictures and repost them and then just credit. And it's just such a pain in the butt. Not to credit them, but to kind of go through that process. I'd much rather just be able to go on Instagram and just repost it. But I just can't do that. And it drives me mad. In any case, thank you to everyone involved in sending, putting out amazing images of the con and the show floor. Enjoy the rest of the internet today, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Stay fresh, cheese bags, and as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Oh, also, massive shout out to Chris Oliveri as well for sending me some amazing booth pictures. Love you, man. Full force! Laters. That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, Full Force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.